Hey guys, welcome to J Powell Music. Be sure to like, subscribe here on the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when these episodes, videos are coming out. Today we're talking about Queens of the Stone Age, End Times New Roman, which is the recent album that just dropped here. Very much anticipated. Of course, if you watched the last video, I did do a song review for Carnivore, which I thought was pretty good. I thought that I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I did enjoy the sound. But I want to talk about this album here, man. You know, I would personally say this is, I feel like this is on the same playing field as Like Clockwork. So I wasn't really a big fan of Villains. I wasn't the biggest fan of Villains, but Like Clockwork, I think, was arguably one of their best recent albums since Songs of the Deaf. Songs of the Deaf is my all-time favorite album from Queens of the Stone Age, and this is a really, I really like thematically how the album is kind of packaged, sonically and visually. I really love the cover art. I talked about it during Carnivore, but I really love the cover art. Even the title, End Times New Roman, kind of has this you know, this deeper essence. And if you've watched the video where what's his name, Zane Lowe, Josh Holm, he talks to Zane Lowe on the Apple Music video on YouTube, breaking down a little bit of what the album is about. You know, which kind of has this like acceptance, moving forward type of theme, and like this battle with yourself, you know, which I feel like kind of signifies what the album art is at least alluding to. I could be completely wrong. That's kind of my headspace, but let's talk about the songs here. So Scenery, I thought was a pretty good song to start the album. It might be slightly too long for me, but I do appreciate the song length of these albums. You know, it definitely stays true to kind of the rock notion. So Paper Machete was actually that was like the last single that was released prior to the album coming out. I love Paper Machete. I think it sounds really good. It's probably more of their cut dry pop versions of a Queens of the Stone Age song. And what I mean by that is it's a very structured song. You know, there isn't these notions where you have, you know, where it's really progressive and goes in like a bunch of different places. This one's very much a structured like AABA type format, you know, solo here, back to the chorus, do it a few more times and then done. But the song sounds really good. You might hear it, airplane flying over my head, you're in an airport, what are you gonna do? But I think the song sounds really good. Everyone sounds great on it. Josh sounds great vocally, and the solo is really dope too. There's a really cool interval thing. I don't know if it's an interval thing, but just there's a cool riff at the very beginning of the solo. They were like, oh wow, that sounded really good, like it there. And the rest of the solo is also great. You know, but yeah, a solid song in all of its entirety. Negative Space, really good. Carnivore, I actually liked it better in the sequence of the album, which I thought that's kind of interesting. So I actually liked it better listening to the album than I did, you know, just via the single. I think the songs that I didn't care for too much, I could go either way with Emotion Sickness, and What the People Say. Sicily. These last three songs, they're not bad songs. I just don't know if they did anything for me. Straight Jacket Fitting, I do like. There's a lot of layers to it. I feel like, you know, there's a lot of narrative lyrically in the song, and then there's just kind of this cool like acoustic portion. I shouldn't spoil it for you guys, but there's different portions of the song. I will say that 9 minutes, but very good song, and I like that. I like that it's 10 tracks. I know he's done that with, I want to say, the last three albums, if not all of them, where they're all 10 track albums. Let me go to Villains, see if that was 10 That was 9 actually. Okay. Yeah, the villains I didn't like too much. I know Like Clockwork is 10. Yeah, I know Like Clockwork is 10. And then obviously In Times New Roman is 10. And just for kicks, yeah, Songs of the Deaf was 15. But yeah, overall, I think it's a solid album. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Hopefully it's not his last. I feel like listening to the album and then watching that Zane Lowe interview with Josh Homme, I highly recommend doing that. It does kind of create some layers. Most of the interview isn't really about the album at all, but at the same time it kind of is, because he's talking about people that are no longer there, and it's connected within the narrative of the album. So they're not really directly head on talking about the album, like, let's talk about this song, the pacing and this. Like, the cool thing about that interview is that they're friends, like they're old time friends, right? So they're talking in that nature, but they're still having the conversation kind of around what the album is about in a dissonant fashion. Very interesting. I'm a huge fan of Zane Lowe. He's one of my favorite interviewers. Him and Rick Rubin. They're some of my favorite interviewers in media, period, when it comes to musicians. Yeah, so I recommend this. I won't stretch this out any longer than it needs to. I think it's a solid album. If you like Clockwork, I think you're going to like this quite a bit. But again, J Powell Music. Appreciate you guys watching. Again, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out. Thanks a lot, and I'll catch you guys next video.